Everybody, I'm your host, Jaime Soretta. On this podcast, we celebrate everything local in Arizona. And good style should feel easy. That's what they say at Rooster Bus. I'm with the owner, Mark Moffett. Mark, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's great to see you.
Mm-hmm, you too.
Tell me a little bit about Rooster Bus.
Rooster Bus is a specialty men's clothing store. We kind of specialize in all things bottoms, like I'd say jeans, shorts, pants, casually though, like not dressier. And we carry a lot of brand names, brands that you don't typically would see like in mall stores. But you might see like on social, apps or something, or you've seen them come across your feed.
So maybe trendy names.
Yeah. Newer, upper-coming, smaller brands. But quality is really important to us. Fit is important to us. Style will be that way. So we're not going to be your most trendy, store out there. So you walk down the street and see, just an average guy, who still likes to, look nice. That's our guy.
Yeah. And why did you want to create something for that guy?
Because there's nothing there. This space is empty. I have worked in retail for over 40 years. I worked for a big retailer for 27 of those years, Buckle, and would recognize that there used to be a lot of great men's casual clothing, shops that just kind of got ate up or absolved into, more of a men's and women's, type store. Obviously, there's more money in, women's, ready to wear women's clothing, and it's easier. Take that back. I'm not meaning that to anybody out there. It's not easier, trust me. But you have bigger sales. And then a lot of the men's boutiques that I would go to, across the nation, would carry, cool vibe, great place, but they were, a little bit higher end, a little bit too pretentious. You'd have a $400 flannel, on the wall, and it's beautiful, and it's kind of like a museum. I'll just look at it and leave, So I wanted to make it, products, buy products and find products that were just a little bit elevated, they're not cheap, but then the right price point for a lot of people, and then actually inexpensive for some, I guess.
Accessible. Accessible.
Very
I
accessible,
think is a
very easy.
Word for that.
Yep.
And when we talk about the boutiques and such, there are not a lot of men's boutiques.
No.
I've been doing local love for quite some time now, and I can just think of a handful.
Yeah.
So you really are in a unique space.
Yep.
What does that feel like, and what challenges are there, or ease is there?
Challenges, I guess, is we kind of have to be innovative a lot. We need to be experiential, so you're not, just feeling like just an average drive-by store, mall store, if you will. We look at 5 different things, in our store. It's going to be the 5 senses, the sight, the sound, the touch, the smell, the taste, right? So all of those senses, when you come into our store, are going to get attacked. And so when you see the store, the way we merchandise, we have, there's different materials that are in there besides the clothing. We might have a bowl that's, breaks up the, the monotony of the merchandise. A plant is life, so we'll bring, life, to the space. The smell, we do like a Palo Santo, stick, throughout the store. So it's got like a, an earthy, woodsy, kind of a, scent to it. We'll have the sound. We'd play, classic Americana, maybe a little more country, I guess, type of music. Not offensive to anyone, and everybody. You'll watch people kind of like move around, when they have it. So, the sound is the taste. We actually have a full bar in the back of our store, so we can give you beer, wine, to make an experience. So, what am I missing?
And do you call that, the 5 senses? What?
Yeah, I said sight, sound,
Sound,
touch.
smell, taste.
Oh, touch the clothes. Touch.
There you
You
go.
know, the clothing, the material, it's quality. So
And when I think about walking by Rooster Bus in Old Town Scottsdale, because you have Old Town Scottsdale, you have Flagstaff, you have the bus
Yep.
where it started. So we have to talk about that in a minute. But I think about the door being open.
Yep.
I think about hearing music.
Yep.
I think the guys in there are good about looking out, waving at you, and eye contact, and it looks like a place like. Even if I'm not shopping for a man in my life at that moment, I want to come in and see what's going on.
Yep.
What's going on there?
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. I learned that for years in retail, you know, and like, there was so many times the mall wanted to put on an event or whatever. And I said, all you got to do is get the people here. It's my job to get them in the door, you know? So whether it's from merchandising the windows or it's a smiling face or whether, you know, it was a sound, you know, that, you know, that you do. I mean, it's whatever. You would remember like Abercrombie years ago, you'd walk past that store, you know, and the scent, everything. Yeah. And now obtrusive in my opinion.
And it
you
was,
know?
and we were all very aware of that.
Yeah.
But it also smelled good.
But it worked. You know, that was the key, you know? So it's like, how do you find something like that and, you know, but also not obtrusive to people. So, yeah, to the majority, I guess.
And then you mentioned, do you call it Scottsdale's smallest bar?
Yep. We are officially like Phoenix metro area in Scottsdale's smallest bar, you know, and I call it a one butt bar because literally behind it used to be a back room and we put our 2 coolers in there and only one person can actually be behind the bar at a time because it's small. So, but maybe we're making a few changes. It should be ready by the time this is out actually, but we're going to enclose it.
Okay.
And we'll have a mirror. So it'll be, you know, behind the mirror to go into the bar, you know,
I see. Yes.
and we're calling it like it's Rooster Bar. But you know, our tagline, like, don't call it a speakeasy, you know, because we're not, it's not anything like speakeasy about it, quiet, hanging out kind of stuff. And then we'll have access from our alleyway through our back door. So it'll be open a little bit. Yeah. It'll be open from like, we're tentatively saying like 6 to 10, you know, on the right days, right nights. Yeah. So it has a really cool vibe to it. But I mean, mostly we open the bar part is to give somebody, you know, I wanted a place where I wanted to shop too, and like I could have a beer and I could, you know, shop, you know, a little more casual, a little less, you know, pretentious, you know. So.
Well, I mean, when you go to someone's home, you offer them a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's very
come in,
normal
hang out, sit down.
and natural. Come hang out. Is the game on?
Yeah, we had.
Also pick out this shirt.
Yeah, we had. I'm from Nebraska, and we had a big Husker watch party, and I mean, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 people, you know, showed up, but it's small, you know, little
That's
space,
enough to fill
and we watched
the
it.
Rooster Bar.
Oh yeah, exactly. I filled the bar. Yeah, filled the bar.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, it was a good time.
So let's start with the bus.
Okay. Yep, that's where I started.
When did you? Because you mentioned you worked for Buckle for 27 years. This is a very successful corporate job for you. You really liked it.
Yep, I did great there.
Why did you decide to change?
It was my time. There were a lot of people that I loved to death, and many of them still there. You know, I more or less, you know, weren't really pushing the envelope, you know, weren't really trying something different because what is going on there is so successful. So why, you know, and I get it, you know, and it just was my time. My kids were grown and it was time for me to, you know, move on, you know, and, all of the skill sets that I learned from them were amazing. I worked as a buyer early on. For them, and I worked with high volume stores. I hired people, I trained, I did everything, you know, that you would need to have the skill sets to do. So it was my turn to try, and that's why I did it. Yeah. But the reason I started in a bus was because there wasn't anything like that. We already talked about earlier that there really wasn't a men's store. I didn't know if they would, if people would be attracted to, you know, the products that I wanted to carry.
Was this a way to sample the idea?
It's a beta test, 1,000,000%. You know, like I could go to where people were enjoying themselves, where maybe there's a little bit of a shopping atmosphere. You know, I could do. We were right here at Uptown Farmers Market. Was one of our first places we did. Bo and that team are amazing. Yep, and we started there, and I would do downtown Gilbert. I found a parking lot in the downtown, you know, area, and Friday, Saturday night I was there every for 2 years.
Wow.
So I started in a bus. I thought the bus would be an experience, and everybody goes, how did you come up with a bus? I'm like, well, it's nothing new. Like hippies, sold clothes out of buses, and you've seen other things similar to it. There was a lot of women's trucks. I'm like, let's go that. Very low, like output and cost, to start. And then if it didn't work, I could at least sell all the clothes and sell the bus, and I would be net zero. That's the thing. And I tried.
Where did you find this bus, and what did you need to do to it?
Oh, I did everything. I found the bus locally here. There's 2 used bus dealers.
Stop it.
Yes.
These are things we learn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're big nationally. Yeah. So this was an old hotshot fire truck. So it was a school bus repurposed to a hotshot fire truck, and then got decommissioned, and then I bought it for $5,000. And so I had to go through, and I tore the seats out, tore the floor out, and I have this bowl. Nobody knows it in the store, but I have this bowl of stuff that I found inside the bus, like old watch from like a firefighter, like their business cards, their there's a whole bowl of stuff, that I keep in the shop.
Oh,
but,
can we ask to see it if we go in there?
Sure.
Pop by, have a beer, and want to
let me see when I got here. My wife didn't know this, so last week, she's like, "What is that old rag doing in that bowl?" And it was there's these 2 red rags, like grease rags, that it was because he built it in the summer, and it was not air conditioning. I was in this old hot bus. I did all of the work, but I had these 2 rags I tied together around my head, and I just sweat. I have pictures and videos that I would send myself, or that I filmed of myself years ago, talking to my future self, about this, and I'm like bleeding. I'm bleeding.
Like, this bus better be worth it.
Exactly. That was exactly what it was.
This is for you, future me.
It was so funny, and I've watched them occasionally, and I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool.
You shout out to your old self.
Yeah. I need to put. I gave it to our media team. We'll see what they do with it.
They got to do something wonderful with that. Okay, so you did a lot of the work yourself.
I did it all.
And then I think about the bus, because I remember being on the bus.
Yeah.
At I almost want to think it was. Did you go to Festivus?
Yeah.
So I remember, and it was tight.
Exactly.
You kind of walk up and down almost an aisle.
Yep.
And then how much merchandise did you fill that with?
Nothing really. There was probably about 4 or 5 brands that I initially, sought out, and had to cherry pick, through them what I thought would work. It was limited. It was very easy, not a lot of screen print. And it's evolved a lot, what I initially bought to where I am now. So
you think of what it was 2018.
2018 is when I started the bus.
2020, you moved into the store. So just 2 years later, you said we're good to go.
Yeah, COVID happened, and they shut. Nobody wanted to come on my bus with me.
Oh.
I was shocker, right? 200.
No mask was enough.
No mask was it? Nope, not even outside. Open the windows for you. It didn't matter. So we were all shut down.
Yeah.
So I sat around my pool with my wife, and we drank a lot and had a good time. And the whole idea was I would eventually open a brick and mortar store, and Old Town area, had a couple open spaces. I knew it was centrally located. I knew we would have some traffic from tourism, and it was just me by myself at the time, so it didn't matter whatever I worked or whatever I wanted to do. So I said, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And that summer of July 2020, I started building out the store, and opened October 1st of 2020.
Wow.
So
what was it like when you opened?
Not bad, actually. There was we were one of the few states that were allowing retail, and so everybody surrounded us was closed, shut down. So a lot of people came, and it wasn't hard. It was just me, so I didn't make anything of it. I just
Open the doors?
Open the doors, and what
happened?
Yeah. And what else was I going to do?
Well, I remember recognizing your name. Oh, that's the guy with the bus. Oh, he's got a storefront now. How cool is that?
That's exactly how it. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then now you have another location.
Yep, we have one in Flagstaff.
Where once again I went to Flagstaff. Oh, it's Rooster Bus. I know that. I remember that guy.
Yeah, we actually I'm so bad at some of this stuff, like letting people know what we're doing. I believe that. I want it to be right before. I don't want to scream and go, oh my gosh, come check this out, and then be less, of an experience, for people. So I literally just put a sign up in Flagstaff. It's been
At Rooster Bus?
Yes, it's like been 2 years, 3
my
years
God.
outside. Nobody knows. I have a little, the little stickers in the window that have the name and stuff, but otherwise, I know.
They're like,
It's
finally.
it's
They're like
so
looking at the
anti.
receipt. Why did I just make a
Exactly.
purchase?
It's so anti what everybody would tell you to do.
Oh my gosh.
So all right.
You also
That's
have
me.
2 other stores because we have to tell
I
people about that.
do.
What is TopIt? Because we'll find that in Scottsdale and in
Yes,
Flagstaff
yes.
too.
I have a hat store. So early on, I don't know if you've ever had him on, Nick from Iconic, Arizona.
Oh yes,
Yep,
of course.
Yep. Nick came to me my very first year on the bus, and I had no intention of carrying hats. Nick came to me and said, "Hey, I got this local company. Could you sell these hats?" And I said, "Sure." It was Christmas time, and so I literally, while he was on the bus, we sold one to a guy, and I was like, "This is kind of weird. Did you plant that guy?" And so we sold. I sold a bunch of hats. Then I bought a few more from him, bought a few more, and then just kind of through my experience, at Buckle, I knew that if this does well, then what would more do? And so that's what I did. I bought more, and I bought other brands. Hijinks was a brand. We did branded bills. We bought a bunch of local, stuff. So, and over the course of time, we would sell, because I opened TopIt like a year and a half ago. So for the 2 years prior to that, we had, we would sell about 10,000 hats a year out of our company. It was just.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I love buying hats. It's like my weakness.
I mean, I went from 0 to 10,000 a year, which was,
a lot.
like, a lot. Yeah. And so,
So what about Buckle? Is a hat a big seller for Buckle?
Oh my gosh. Like they probably, which is interesting. Here's another, okay, yes, they did sell a lot, I mean, millions and millions of dollars passively. It's not their thing, but passively they sell. And I help. Yeah, I gave them a hat rack that literally changed their game.
Iconic Arizona?
No,
Buckle.
the Buckle.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I had this hat rack we use in the store. It's odd. It sells a lot of hats. I got it from Nick. Actually, Nick gave it to me, and told me about it. And I know I'm going off subject here, sorry, but I sent one to my very best friend in Utah. He's a vice president at Buckle, and I sent it to a store. The team put it on the floor, and they sold a bunch of hats from it. And they went quickly to like one of the top ranking in hats. So then Dennis, the president, he ends up finding out, and so they buy a bunch of these hat racks. And now whenever you go to a Buckle, there's these hat racks that are all over, and
what are so different about them?
Just the way the hats set in flat. They're easier to get out. They're easier to put away. Have you ever bought hats where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get this thing back in there? Yeah. So you get annoyed by it. So it's just really easy. It holds a lot in a small square footage. Some of that retail weird stuff. So work well.
So you filled TopIt with local hats and some other big names.
A lot of big brand names. So we keep finding more and more. So we're not really sports driven. So it's more like casual lifestyle, driven. So
we have some of your hats.
Yeah, we do.
Right
These are ours, just Rooster
The
that we have made. Rooster Bus.
This is the funny thing. How did this come up? The upside down name. What happened?
Dallas.
Where did that come from? Is that
someone in Dallas had this Dallas hat upside down, and it just took off. So
I know, now
we
it's
could write
everything.
anything. We have a Flagstaff hat that's
Yeah.
upside down, and just consistently one of our best sellers.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So funny.
I know.
So I will tell you that that's one of my favorite purchases to make at different places is I cannot stop myself from buying a local hat or a hat from a place that I'm traveling to.
Yeah.
It's just like an easy something that you'll pull out again and things you'll use because I never want to buy the things I'm not going to use.
Yeah. And it's not a lot of money, so it's kind of throwaway money a little bit. You're right. Everything you just said is why, we opened TopIt.
Yeah.
We said, okay, well, we put a great vibe to it. I mean, because again, in that hat world, it's sports driven pretty much from a hat store.
Right.
And I mean, from Nebraska, and I love my team Nebraska, but I do not want to wear a Nebraska hat every single day.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for something different. And like you, and like other thousands of people, whenever you go somewhere, you see a hat, you're like, oh, I'll just pick that hat up. So it's a local, it's and or whatever.
Tied to your trip.
Yeah,
Piece
part of your
their
memory. Yeah. We're doing something really fun with TopIt, and it should be done by mid-November. So it'll probably be open when this comes out. But we're doing a hat bar, but it's going to be unique. There's a lot of hat bars where they take the blank hat, you put patches all over it, right? These are going to be pre-made hats. So they'll say I didn't bring them with me, but they're like Scottsdale. It'll across it. It'll say Arizona. It might be upside down. We're doing some colorations that would be similar to like ASU or U of A or NAU. We have some NAU, but like the patches will be a smaller patch, so you could add a couple like on the back to kind of yeah. So
the way maybe you would put a pin.
Exactly, and pens are huge too. In that category. So
oh my goodness.
So we're gonna have a few pins.
Is Iconic Arizona gonna do any patches for you?
No, he won't. Yeah. We have our own, people, like Isaac, who you have in our store.
Lovely man.
He's our designer, and so is sourcing, all things like that. So, I mean, we can.
So the men can do the hat bar thing too. So I'm thinking about the Phoenix Oprah and Barrett Jackson when all the big groups of men roll into town that they can buy a Scottsdale hat and put all their favorite.
Sure, they could put a golf bag on the side of it, a sun, a cactus. Maybe it's American flag, maybe it's Arizona flag on the side, whatever it is, So they for sure will do that.
And women too. I could probably get one too, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, driven towards women for sure. I mean, that's like an easy out. So we have so many bachelorette parties that come through.
Bachelorette through the men's store?
Oh my gosh.
Pray tell. Spill the tea.
Both stores. There's been times by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, and literally we'll look around and go, have we had a guy in the store? And there's a difference with men and women. When women go, to another place, they're like shopping or buying something, for their man. Men, we don't very seldom do that, unfortunately. I know, right? So, but they, and I think also because it's a cool store, it's got the great vibe. Like you said earlier, you like to be, you're drawn in, and then you see a hat, you'll see, a cologne, a t-shirt, or, exactly. Oh, how he would love this. And so, at the bar, also,
I mean, I felt like I
Yeah.
had to have a beverage with my mom and my sister at the bar because you had a bar in a men's clothing store.
Exactly. So
Shaq done that before.
Yep. We lowered your inhibition to spend, and
you did have a nice day there.
Yeah, there you go.
You had a nice day there.
I did have a good day. Yes, I did. Thank you.
But it was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the thing, that you're having an experience along with the shopping, because I'll tell you, I am not a shopper.
Yep.
Like I don't like shopping, which is maybe why I end up with hats, because I don't want to go put on a shirt or try the dress on. Like, I just don't want to do that.
Have to look in that mirror. Oh
yes,
my gosh.
not the mirror.
we call
like
it
the big bad
we
wolf.
call it the ego.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The mirror is the ego. You're like, oh, I look good in this.
Do you have a skinny mirror?
No, well, I don't know. I don't know if it works that way or not.
Sometimes there are mirrors like, I don't trust you. You're too good. I know.
I look really
you
really
really
good.
want me to buy this dress mirror. I know you're up to something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that you've had with your businesses, because now you have the 4 locations, the one bus.
Yep.
How many employees now at this point?
We have online stores too. We have 2 online stores, so TopIt online and shoptherooster.com. So there's that team. I think 25 roughly is what we have now. So give or take during the seasonality, of stuff. But challenges, everything that I would tell somebody in retail, it's 2 things that you can control: your people and your product. So maintaining staff, taking care of staff has always the challenge in retail. Always. It isn't being like, I'm a really good buyer, and I get to go pick out the really cool stuff. No, it's both. You have to be able to do both. And so that's probably the challenges. I don't love the spending all the time. I mean, so you alluded about shopping, like shopping. Like, I don't love shopping because I literally have to spend millions of dollars shopping, so on product,
Right,
you know, so we get,
inventory.
yes, yeah. So bills come across all the time. And it's so not my favorite part.
No, that
Not
would
at
not
all.
be.
Yeah. So, you know, I force myself, sit down, you know, and be the business owner. And I'm good with math, you know, so like knowing what you need to pay and how to, you know, do all those things, you know, so, you know, balancing it, you know, but I don't love it. So
Well, let's
that's
talk
probably
about
my biggest
balancing
challenge.
it because I know you moved around a lot. I know you worked very hard with Buckle. How do you handle the work-life balance?
So it's been different through my time. Early on, I was horrible, you know, at it. Like I literally worked like probably my first. This is remember 1990. Okay, October.
Barely.
Yes. Okay, 1990.
There's
Yeah,
no
for me it
internet.
would be yeah. So
I was on a typewriter.
we would just work. I'm in the Midwest. That's all I knew. You know, so I averaged over 80 hours a week for the first year I managed a Buckle. Horrible work life. And it wasn't a thing. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't you weren't supposed to be, you know, that. So through evolution and, you know, people saying, hey, that's kind of dumb, and me learning, you know, how to manage people, you know, how to, you know, let loose and let, you know, somebody else take over. You know, and mostly you have to teach, you know, people, you know, you have to, you know, have good expectations and standards and then teach them, you know. I'm never, ever upset at somebody who might have made a mistake on something if they didn't know, you know, why? That's just dumb, you know? So, you know, we'll teach, you know? But that was, you know, probably, you know, something that helped me in my work-life balance because, you know, my wife wasn't going to stay with me. I mean, if she didn't get to see me, she was like, peace out, you know, we got married, so we have kids. So, anyway, it was that choice that you know, have to make and take time. And so, with the store now, my kids are grown, you know, my wife and I are empty nesters. And so we do things that we enjoy together. Like we spend, it's probably every like 2 or 3 months, you know, we go to like Tulum, you know, and I took the whole month of July and just stayed in Tulum, you know, and worked remotely, you know, so it's hot here.
Spanish?
No.
Are you learning? I need to learn.
Un poquito.
I know, just enough to get by, right?
I'm typical. Yeah. And I would, maybe, you know, if we bought something there, maybe. But yeah, it's love the culture, love the people, love the food, love the,
beach.
You know, the beach. Yeah. Summertime in the beach, there's not that great, but, you know, but, yeah, we're just actually talking about going back here in another couple weeks. So, but we do that. But we go back to, you know, football games, you know, like, but I have a great staff, you know, and I couldn't do any of that without them, you know, so.
But train them up and then trust them, right?
Yeah, you have to. And there's, it's never going to be ran exactly like, you know, I would if I were there, but how close can you get it to that?
Right.
You know, how much do they believe in it, you know, so, it's mostly just sharing the vision, teaching people what they, how they see themselves fit, allowing them to, you know, make decisions. Like I do not make all the decisions. You know, Tyler, who works in the store, has been with me. Well, he worked with me at Buckle. You know, I hired him at 18, and he's 31 now.
Oh, wow.
But then brought him aboard after, like, in year one of the brick and mortar store, and then he's our main buyer. You know, so literally there are buys that I didn't see, and he picked it out. Like, you know, we talk about the numbers, we talk about, you know, the math part about it, but picking it out isn't the hard part. You know, he's really, really talented at it. And so, yeah, so find people what they're good at and, you know, let them go. But I don't make the decisions, you know, I literally just go, yep, on money. That's about it.
Well, that must feel kind of good.
It's great. It's great. You know, like we're making, you know, some of our own clothes. Isaac, I was talking to him.
Designer.
Yes, he's our designer. Like, so sourcing, you know, we're making, in the spring, we'll have a new, athleisure, small little athleisure, you know, brand. We'll have another brand of like casual summer West Coast-ish, I guess.
cool.
I don't know you would call it. I'm not going to say too much, but it's some of those pieces that we're doing, some of our own, brands,
Nice.
with inside the store, and he does it all. Like a lot of our gifty stuff,
Let's talk
he
about the
sourced
gifty
it.
stuff
Okay,
because
yeah.
we're
Christmas.
right into
Let's go.
December right now.
Let's go.
What are we looking for? What are you creating? What are you putting in the
Okay,
store?
so we have a cocktail smoking kit that we just love. I just saw a prototype of it the other day. It'll be in the store when this comes out, and it is amazing. It's just when you go to a restaurant and they smoke like a whiskey or like a drink or something, right? So it's the little topper that sits on top. You put the wood chips into it. You have like a little torch, turns it on,
Yes.
and the smoke, and it's the ambiance, and it's cool, and it comes in a wooden box, and it looks great. So we have that. We have another little double glass set with like their ice cubes, but they're made out of, don't remember, but they put them in the freezer and you put those in your ice so it doesn't melt and it doesn't water the drink down. But I tested it the other night. It works great,
Ooh.
so they'll have that.
Okay.
We have some, of course, we have like several different great cologne brands that are out that you're not really seeing, in, the big department stores. Some are wildly successful. So we have, a cologne. We're going to have, of course, hundreds of jeans, great, shirts, flannels, whatever.
Hats.
We've got a lot of hats.
Hats.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what else we had that's in
The
there.
gifting.
We've always doing great
men are hard.
candles.
You're like, oh, what am I going to get
Yep.
out?
Yeah.
Another
We got
pair of
some-
funny socks.
We'll do
What
some
are we
good
doing?
books, like that are, men eccentric, I
Yes.
guess.
What are the trends that we can expect going into?
Denim is back.
Uh-huh.
Jeans are back. And it's a little bit easier, in the men's side because, women, pretty much lead the trend, on stuff, and so you can see. They started wearing, a lot of, looser, fitting, jeans or, so that, baggy, what do they call it? Barrel,
Oh, yeah, the
barrel style,
jean.
yeah. So it won't hit guys like that, but it'll be, the skinny
little
jean is
looser.
like gone, and so, it's more of a straight fit, normal, I guess
Yeah.
I would call it, but denim is big. There's a lot of great, I would call it it's a stretch terry, so it's
Oh.
really soft,
Oh, that sounds
fabric.
delightful.
Oh yeah, for a pant, so but it looks like a pant, and they come in colors and stuff. So like a couple brands like Fairty carry them, for us. We do. Who else do we do? Normal Brand has a great one. Seven Diamonds has a great one. But those, are amazing. So some of that stuff. That would stylistically, the wovens this year, flannel, I guess, lack of a better term that most people understand. Sometimes I get too technical, so I'm just trying to. So it's like
What is a
there's a
woven?
couple like basket weave,
Yes,
like style
yes.
shirts, like a blanket,
Okay.
I guess if you will,
A
but a woven blanket.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, kind of in the shacket category, but it's a little bit more breathable. 100% cotton. A couple brands like Outer Known does an amazing one. Who did I see? I see Marine Layer. Had a really great one the other day. Let's see. Rourke did a good one, and I'm trying to think who else I've seen. Yeah, but several of those. But and then athleisure,
Yeah.
like still cranking. Along. We do a great Viore,
Yes.
selection.
That's where I learned
so-
about Viore was in your store when I was doing a story there. I was like,
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know we could be so comfortable.
Yep. Yeah. They're amazing. Did you buy?
Yes, I
you own
did.
some? Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was
I mean,
Christmas last year.
My wife and daughters, are always going. I get a list of like what's available, to buy for men and women,
Yes.
And stuff. So of course they put their orders in.
Yes,
Of
of
course they
course.
get a better deal on it.
Yeah,
What can I
why
say?
not?
Yeah, of course. That's who gets the deal. It's them.
What are you learning right now as a business owner?
So I am a little different in some of the way I call things. Like I don't talk about a lot of people call it grinding, if you will, and that doesn't sound fun to me.
No.
That sounds like it hurts, and so I'm a kind of word centric person. So we're on adventures,
Okay.
So if that makes
So you're adventuring?
We're in an adventure. Yeah, we're on an online adventure.
Oh.
Right now, so there's probably 3 different things online. We really want to attack the gift, collection gift world. It's in the men's gift world. I think I don't remember, 78 billion or 83 billion, dollars, online. There's not a whole lot of competition, in that world. So we're working with another local SEO company, Cadence, who does an amazing job, by the way. I mean, like, they're a crazy, great group of people. They do some pretty good business. They're so smart. So we working with them. And then another adventure is our bar, right?
Yes.
So we're closing in the bar, and what is that, going to, the learning part of that is like, so I bought a liquor license and I'm like, okay, so do the beer trucks just show up or how does this go? No clue. And I'm like, so, I thought he just went to like one place, and you would buy what you needed, right? Or one.
How would I know? I don't know.
I know. And I'm like, so we would have, we had, oh my gosh, I don't remember how many different vendors that we work with on the alcohol side of things. I'm like, Gary, how come you don't just carry the same, things? So we have that. That's an adventure. The hat bar, like I talked about at TopIt, I'm learning a lot about, how that's going to look and feel, from an experience standpoint.
Right.
Let's see. What we also learned this summer. So this summer, we went through I called it the summer of survival. This summer in retail was very, very hard for retailers. If you watched and you saw a lot of boutiques, you saw a lot of closed, and you could, my time in retail, you could predict this, so a year ahead of time, we were buying less and we bought, because you just don't want to be stuck with inventory in a retail store. Their biggest issue is people and product, right? So product side of it, over inventory, spend all your money sitting there, not making money. So what they end up doing is they end up marking it down. There's not enough margin inside of there. They will lose their business. Yes. There's no money to pay the bills, So although they're moving units through and it looks like cash is moving, there's no profit being made on it. So so we bought less. And so we bought considerably less. We were probably down 20% inventory first quarter, and we were flat. And so we were like, good on us, better sell-throughs, great margins. Went to the second quarter, and we were down about 30 some odd percent, and we actually went backwards, which realizing that there is a point of diminishing returns, if you will, So you should probably expect to go backwards if you don't have as much product, like for the consumer, right? So that's something we learned this year with like, all right, we don't want to go back that far, to be so I don't know if it was the sweet spot we found, in there, but we put the math to it. We've got a little spot in there that we like, but right now we're not holding back, because
now it's go time.
Typically you'll have this little bit of slowdown. You were starting to see consumer confidence come back. If we knew that if you could make it through this summer, I knew that if you could make it through this summer and still be strong, and feel good, then you could go forward. We had to, we made the decisions, this summer. We let good people go, we had to, in order to be able to, payroll, the dollars and cents, the math side of the thing. Did I want to? No. Were they great? Yes. But as the business owner to, the rest of the people that are there, you owe it to them. And I had to do that. So we learned that. There's a million things I could keep going on. Sorry. But that was probably,
that's a hard lesson.
But now we're at go time. It's kind of funny because now the team is used to hold off, like a mine kind of stuff. And I'm like, full throttle, it's over. We're going to go. Yeah, we're going to go into spring this next year. Will be amazing.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Well, the
that'd be
holidays are
great.
here.
Holidays, great.
I want our listeners to remember to go to Rooster Bus for
Thank
your
you.
gifting.
Yes.
And the women will have fun in the store as well.
Absolutely. Yes, they will.
And
Team's fun.
Watch
Yeah.
your online shops because you're moving in the online world and we can gift on the
Yep.
online. So you
Yep.
don't even have to be in town if you're not in
Nope.
town.
Nope.
You could ship real fine.
Yep, we do
Yep,
great
there
with
you
it. Yeah.
Mark Moffett, Rooster Bus, thank you so much. Great
Thank
to see
you for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Serretta. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jserretta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Serretta and Instagram @Serretta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.